Peace, y'all. Welcome to the kitchen. Health Coach V here. We're putting together one of my favorite recipes for burgers, and I'm going to be sharing my story on how I shifted into the plant-based lifestyle, and I didn't think I could have a burger. All right, y'all. So let's jump into these ingredients. There are many ways to make a plant-based burger, okay? This recipe is just one of my favorites, what I like, and it's tasty. So in this recipe, we have black beans. Black beans is really gonna give this recipe a protein boost, all right? This is where a big chunk of the protein is gonna come from. We also have some mushrooms in this recipe. I prefer the Portobello, okay? For this particular burger, I feel like burgers in general, Portobello mushroom, it just does it. You know, it adds some juiciness. It does it. In this recipe, I also add sweet potato. I used half of it yesterday. Some oats as well. Gotta love the oats. I feel like a lot of recipes, I add oats in there. You know, it's okay. It's okay. You also wanna make sure that you have two different onions. So red onion, there's red in there. It's a red onion in there. So red onion, and then also some green onion. And then you also wanna make sure that you have all your seasonings and then all your fixings for the toppings, okay? What you like to put on the burger, that's completely up to you. You can mix it, change it, rearrange it. So let's jump into it. So first thing you wanna do is go ahead and get you a pan on the stove and get it warm. We're gonna go ahead and dice our onion and then saute it in the pan for our burger mixture. Now, when I first became plant-based, I really thought that I couldn't have a burger. And it didn't really occur to me that I can still have it, it would just be made differently. And so I actually started pescatarian first. And with being pescatarian, I honestly only did salmon, right? And I literally was pescatarian for a week, and I was like, I'm good without the fish. So I literally worked my way through the tiers of being pescatarian, then vegetarian, then fully plant-based vegan. All right, so now that we have our onions on, they're simmering, we want to go ahead and get an additional pot out so that we can steam our sweet potato. So you want to go ahead and put your pan on high, and we're just going to add a little bit of water in there, enough so that it can steam, okay? So once it's steaming, you go ahead and get your sweet potatoes in the pot and just let them steam for a little bit, get them soft. Now, completely optional, I'm gonna cut up some yellow bell pepper and saute them to put on top of my burger. But when I originally started with the vegetarian, I really was just eating like plain meals. I really wasn't anything spectacular, and I pretty much became a carbaholic, which a lot of people do when they first transfer into not eating meat. And I wasn't really thinking that, oh, I can still have what I normally would eat, just make it differently, just make it out of different ingredients. So for a while, I spent a lot of time thinking that I couldn't have certain things or I couldn't have what I was used to. And it wasn't until I changed my mindset, it just hit me, something just clicked, okay? I don't know if I went to a restaurant and saw a burger, a plant-based burger, I don't know what happened, right? But I know that something clicked and I was like, wait a minute, I can have whatever I want. I can have whatever I want. So this burger recipe is one of my favorite because burgers are my favorite, and burgers were the one thing that I thought I couldn't have and I can have it. So to continue this recipe, go ahead and get your mushrooms, clean them, get them ready, and then go ahead and chop them in half. And then we're gonna basically get them in really small pieces. So you can use a food processor for this recipe, but if you don't have one and you're just starting your plant-based journey, it's perfectly fine if you don't. You just chop your food a little bit smaller, and that way when you mix it, everything is more easily broken down. So the last thing you'll want to get chopped up really finely is just going to be your green onion, really tiny. And then you're ready for the best part, which is putting it all together. All right, so you'll grab your bowl, go ahead and add your black bean. This is about 15 ounces or 1 can. Make sure you rinse them, okay? And then you're also gonna add your mushrooms. We're gonna add our sauteed onion that we did at the very beginning. We're gonna add our sweet potato. This is a half of sweet potato that we just steamed. Then we're gonna add a half a cup of oats. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Go ahead and add your green onion, a tablespoon of tomato paste, and then you want to go ahead and season it up really nice. So I like to do a great amount of garlic powder, okay? If you know, you know. We'll do our pepper, add some salt here. Then we're gonna add some chili powder. This kind of gives it that deeper flavor. And then what gives it that smoky flavor is our liquid smoke here. Beautiful. And now we're just gonna mash this all together. You can use a masher, but you can also just use a fork, okay? Just like this. And I wanna use this so you'll see how easy this is. So if you only have the bare minimum, you'll still be able to make this recipe. And that's what I love, because when you're transitioning into a plant-based lifestyle, you just might not have had these things, okay? And a masher might seem like a normal thing to have, but you just never know. So you see, we're just gonna have it come together. So here we are, we mashing it, we getting into it. Really getting everything incorporated. And then also, don't be afraid, make sure they're clean, of course, but use your hands, really get in there. Get everybody acquainted, as I like to say. This actually could be quite fun, especially if you have like kids, just getting them involved. And you want to kind of have some chunks in there, okay? Because that's going to give you a bite. That's going to give you a bite. You don't want it to be too smooth and like a puree in texture or consistency. That's beautiful. And you can just make your patties however thick you want them. However thick, however thin, however big, but this will make you about 4 good patties. One thing you want to make sure that you always do is taste, 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 okay? As Gordon Ramsay says. That's good. That's really good. So the same way you would if you had a regular ground meat, you just kind of formulate your patties. Good sized patties, and I like mine just a tad bit thicker. You know, give them some love, give them some love. And boom, you have a really nice, it's a pretty thick patty. Okay, it's a pretty thick patty. Look, this is dense. This is dense. For the most part, making things yourself is gonna be healthier than getting the store-bought. It's less processing, and then also you're putting your energy into it. So most things, you know, they may be made in you know, a specific type of factory, and you don't really know who exactly was making it. So look at that, beautiful, beautiful. And you literally have like creative control. So if you're like, I like my patties thicker than that, well, thicken them up, thicken them up. I'm in support, I'm in support. However you like it is how you deserve it, okay? You just gotta mold your reality, shape it to be that way. But these are beautiful. Like I said, you're gonna make about 4 good sized patties. And then boom, you're ready to cook them. All right, now I like to toast my buns. So I'm gonna put those in here. All right, make sure your pan is hot. Make sure you got some oil in there. You can take these patties and get them right on in. One thing you want to do to just top off your burger is add some cheese, okay? I'm using Violife cheese. This is actually the smoked provolone, okay? The smoked provolone slices, and it's just gonna give it a different flavor. One thing you want to do is steam the cheese to make sure it melts. So you can add a little bit of water. So you're just gonna add a tad bit of water and then cover it up. You only want a tad bit so it doesn't make your burgers too soft. Now all it's left to do is assemble your burger literally however you like it, however you see fit. If you like a plain burger, that's fine. If you like to stack it up, that's fine too. Add you some sides with it and enjoy it. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Peace.